Tonight on Eagle Angle, we get the full scoop on this year's homecoming festivities.
Get a sneak peek at this year's musical, The Little Mermaid.
And get the latest sports report on all of your favorite OC teams. All this and more tonight on Eagle Angle. Hello and welcome to Eagle Angle. I'm Reagan Meyer.
I'm Elijah Johnson. Eagle Angle is a student-produced newscast live from the campus of Oklahoma Christian University.
It's homecoming week and the highly anticipated musical The Little Mermaid is upon us. Our very own Becca Kashorek was able to get an exclusive interview with the director of the musical, Christy McAllister. Enjoy this sneak peek.
I'm here with Christy McAllister, the director of this year's homecoming musical, Little Mermaid. Thank you for joining me.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about why Little Mermaid was chosen as this year's homecoming musical.
Well, I think that Oklahoma Christian always likes to choose a show that is going to be very family friendly and bring in a lot of people and something they enjoy. And Little Mermaid's a classic. I mean, everybody knows it, everybody loves it. So I think it was a great choice for the musical this year. In fact, I heard we're almost sold out already for both Friday and Saturday, so that's really exciting.
How has this year's cast risen to the challenge of performing a musical like this?
They have really impressed me this year. We had a lot of underclassmen coming in, which can kind of be a little scary because they're learning all the ropes, especially of just being in college for the freshmen and then also having a show on top of that, because they do work a lot of hours. I mean, we do rehearsal from Sunday to Thursday, 7 to 11, and then on Wednesdays we don't start till 8:30. But it gets really crazy with their scheduling. But they have been great. They have shown up on time. They've memorized all of their lines and their music, and they've just really taken the work on themselves, and I could not be more proud of them.
Awesome. So as director, how do you feel seeing the progress they've made from the start of when they first started practicing to now in its final form?
It happened. Every show there's always like, is this really going to come together? Like there's always this moment like, is it really going to get off the ground? And it always does, but from the beginning I saw the end and I knew they were going to rise to the challenge and even take a step further. And so, I mean, they've just been so incredible. They've grown so much. And I think they really bonded too as a family, which I think is really fun. That's my favorite part of the show, is you become a family while you're doing it because you're just with each other all the time. So all the backstage jokes that they have going on, it's really fun.
Awesome. And what would you say to encourage students to attend a performance?
I mean, I think for the majority of students, hopefully Little Mermaid was something that they grew up with. I knew for sure it was for me. Whenever Ariel and I were going through Part of Your World, I was like, this was my childhood song. This is what I grew up loving. And she's taken such good care of it. She's made it really, really her own, but also kept it classic at the same time. So it's just going to be a fun night, a good night. It's also really fun to see the classic movie have a few extra tidbits in it. Everybody loves Chef Louis in the film and his, trying to cook Sebastian, and that has, in the Broadway version, gotten just a little more finesse and there's a little more to it. So it's really a funny number. So I think there's just little extra things for them to see that they should come see the show.
Has your script kind of stayed true to the Disney movie, or have you kind of added your own twist to it?
Yes and no. So, I mean, we're staying to the Broadway version of what has been written, but when they wrote the Broadway version, they kept a lot of the classic lines, like somebody's got to pin her nails to the floor, so on and so forth. But they've given Triton a larger role. They also have linked Ursula and Triton as siblings. So there's more of a backstory there, which makes it really more intriguing and interesting, gives it a more depth than the movie does. So really there's a lot more backstory in the musical.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you want to add?
I have had so much fun doing this. It's been a blast. The crew and the cast have been amazing. I am just so excited and so proud. We have worked so hard to pull this show together, and I think it would be sad to miss. So for sure, come enjoy it, laugh, cry, feel all the emotions. It's going to be a good one.
Well, thank you for joining me. For Eagle Angle, I'm Becca Kashorek.
With homecoming comes a week of fun and festivities. This year, under the theme of childhood classics, Becca Kashorek has the story.
Whether it's constructing parade floats, eating good food, or getting tickets to see this year's musical, most OC students look forward to homecoming week.
That everyone can get behind. It'll be fun for all the alumni kids that come back. It'll just be a good time for all the community to come together.
This year's theme, Childhood Classics, a playful way to get kids in the community involved.
For alumni, I really wanted it to be a very family-oriented event. I noticed last year a lot of kids came, and it really wasn't catered to kids last year, and so I kind of felt bad for them. So with the theme of Childhood Classics, it really helps it just be a family environment for everyone.
The social service clubs have gone all out to make their childhoods come to life with floats like Monsters, Inc. and Lion King.
It's been fun so far. So I'm in Theta, and we've been like building our float and like painting it, and it's been a good way to like get all the girls like bonded together and have everybody pitch in, just like work on a project together, which I think has been really fun.
The annual parade on Saturday draws in hundreds from the community.
I'm gonna have to say the parade is my favorite part. I have a lot of energy like normally, and so it's like a good way to put it out there, and you get to like see everybody come back to school too, like alumni and stuff, and that's really exciting, and you get to see everybody cheering.
So their themes are on the banners that are in the Student Center, and it'll also be on their floats. So they're doing really well, so it'll be really exciting to see them all come together.
Reporting for Eagle Angle, I'm Becca Kashorek.
For this week's off-campus activity, Becca Kashorek takes us for a nature walk right near campus.
Fall in Oklahoma is the perfect time to get off campus and take a hike in some really pretty areas right nearby. I'm standing in Hafer Park, which is only 5 minutes off campus. And although it's rainy today, on a good day, it is such a beautiful place to come take a friend and go for a walk. There are so many parks and trails around Edmond, and just east is Arcadia Lake with 5 parks and walking trails around it. With winter just around the corner, you should take advantage of going outside and enjoying the fall weather. So get off campus and enjoy the fall leaves and nature while you can. Reporting for Eagle Angle, I'm Becca Kashorek.
If you have any stories you would like us to report on, email our news producer at becca.kashorek@eagles.oc.edu. Now for our national news. Wildfires burning out of control have forced all of California to be under a state of emergency. An early morning fire forced celebrities from their homes in Los Angeles, while the biggest fire, the Kincaid Fire, is only 5% contained as it burns through the Sonoma County. CNN's Paul Beckerman has the story.
Flames, thick smoke, and almost pitch black. That's what thousands of people in California faced as they scrambled to leave their homes. 2 major wildfires, fed by at times hurricane-force winds, are burning at opposite ends of the state.
If you're in the mandatory evacuation zone and you're still there watching this, you're an idiot.
In the South, new evacuation orders have been issued in Los Angeles. The Getty Fire sparked early Monday morning, quickly scorching hundreds of acres. People were forced from their homes on the west side of the 405 freeway near the Getty Center Museum.
We have over 500 firefighters that are on the line right now in some of the most challenging topography of Los Angeles.
Up north in California wine country, the Kincaid Fire is raging and has driven nearly 200,000 people from their homes. Wind gusts reach up to 93 miles per hour over the weekend. Power company PG&E says those winds forced them to cut power out of an abundance of caution.
About 965,000 customers have been impacted at one time or another associated with this event.
The company says forecasts for high winds Tuesday could force them to shut off power to even more customers. In Sonoma, California, I'm Paul Verkaman.
A key witness in the House of Representatives impeachment inquiry won't testify before Congress Monday at the direction of his attorney. Charles Kupperman, the former Deputy National Security Advisor, is waiting for a judge to decide if he is obligated under a House subpoena. CNN's Suzanne Malveaux has the latest.
House Democrats threatening to hold former Deputy National Security Advisor Charles Kupperman in contempt of Congress if he does not obey a subpoena to appear. But his testimony remains uncertain after he filed a lawsuit asking a judge to rule whether he is obliged to appear for the deposition. The White House sent Kupperman a letter Friday directing him not to comply, maintaining that he would be protected by constitutional immunity. In a letter to Kupperman, the three Democrats overseeing the inquiry saying the lawsuit is lacking in legal merit and an obvious and desperate tactic by the president to delay and obstruct the lawful constitutional functions of Congress. Kupperman was listening in on the July 25th phone call at the center of the impeachment inquiry, where President Trump repeatedly pressed the Ukrainian president to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son. Meanwhile, Kupperman's former boss, National Security Advisor John Bolton, could be heading to Capitol Hill soon.
They're going to fight us having John Bolton in, for example. John Bolton is a very important witness. He has very relevant information, and we do want him to come in and testify.
This as EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland clarifies reports of his congressional testimony earlier this month. His attorney telling the Wall Street Journal Sondland did think the efforts by the administration to press Ukraine to open investigations in exchange for a White House meeting with Ukraine's president amounted to a quid pro quo.
I'm not allowed to speak to the substance of the testimony, but I would not dispute what the attorney is saying.
Vice President Mike Pence refusing to say if he was aware of the stipulations Sondland and U.S. diplomat Bill Taylor outlined in their testimony.
What I know is that the transcript of the president's call with President Zelensky shows that there was no quid pro quo. He did nothing wrong.
But were you aware of that deal that they are giving details of and sworn under oath exists?
All of my interactions with President Zelensky, we focused entirely on President Zelensky's agenda.
Well, after this break, Garrett White will have your full weather forecast. Stay with us.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Dora knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
Boots! She knows this monkey? Of course she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Man, what happened to fall weather? It's cold out there.
I have no idea. It very much feels like winter just came out of nowhere. Let's see what's happening in your area. Currently, it's 34 degrees, cloudy. You may see the occasional snowflake coming out of the clouds, which kind of merits the 23-degree weather we are currently seeing. Let's see what's happening in your area. Right now, 42 in Sallisaw, which is the warmest place on the map. It just gets colder from there. 41 in Ada and 40 degrees in Durant. 38 in Ardmore and in Altus. 37 in Lawton and in Tulsa. 36 degrees in Miami and 35 in Elk City. In OKC and Ponca City, both 34, and it is 26 or freezing in Guyman. Tonight, temperatures down at 25 degrees, as well as a strong wind coming in from the northwest, ranging from 18 to 26 miles per hour. There's also going to be a 78% humidity, though you probably won't feel that with the temperature being 25 degrees. This weekend, good news, it will be sunny all weekend, bringing the temperatures up to the mid to low 50s. Also, no chance of rain, so one more thing to look forward to. Over the next 5 days, here are some things to expect. Thursday, high of 50, low of 34. Friday, sunny, high of 60, low 32. Saturday will also be sunny, high of 53, low of 35. Sunday, high of 58, low of 42. And Monday, a high of 64, low of 44. Well, that's all for this week's full weather forecast. Join us for the latest scoop in entertainment after this break.
Knows better than anyone. The best place to explore is the forest.
Boots! She knows this monkey? Of course, she knows this monkey.
Experience nature.
Let's go.
Connect with family.
I love you guys.
And find your own adventure in a forest or park near you.
Let's do this. Come on, Boots.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you.
Welcome to your Entertainment Corner. I'm your host, Nick Rogers. Judd Apatow isn't happy with Netflix, and he's making that feeling clear. The producer and director is upset about a new feature Netflix is testing. It allows users to either speed up or slow down content. Apatow issued a tweet threatening to organize a legion of Hollywood directors to fight the idea. The Incredibles director Brad Bird, Ant-Man director Peyton Reed, and Breaking Bad star Aaron Paul have also voiced their opposition. Netflix admits it is testing the feature in some markets, but says it may not become permanent. Apatow has several projects that are streaming on Netflix now. A new trailer for a Star Wars spin-off, The Mandalorian, releases on Monday, and it's dropping a few more hints about the show. The series releases on November 12th on Disney+. That's the same date the streaming service launches. The show is about a Mandalorian bounty hunter who operates in the outer areas of the galaxy. It's the first live-action Star Wars series. Kanye West has finally dropped his long-awaited album Jesus is King on Friday. After being postponed for several weeks, West finally released his gospel rap album. When asked if he is a Christian artist now, he says that he is a, quote, Christian everything now. And on Sunday, he held a concert that was live-streamed as a part of his Sunday service he has started this year. That's the latest in entertainment. Now back to the desk for sports.
Thanks, Nick. On Saturday, the Lady Eagle cross country team competed in the Lone Star Conference Championship. In the 6,000-meter race, the Lady Eagles posted a team score of 289, which was a good for a 10th place finish out of 16 runners. OC's lead runner was sophomore Kenya Bailey, who placed 14th out of 134 runners and ran a time of 23 minutes 43.99 seconds, and her time was good enough to earn herself all LSC honors. And OC's number 2 runner was senior Addie Clift, who placed 31st with a personal best time of 24 minutes 29.16 seconds. The next race for the Eagles will be the NCAA Division II South Central Regional Championship on November 9th. The men's cross-country team also competed in the Lone Star Conference Championship on Saturday. Though the Eagles were picked to finish in 8th, the Eagles proved themselves and came through with a 4th place finish with a team score of 104. Junior Colton Myers led the Eagles in the 8,000-meter race, finishing 13th out of 130 runners and ran a time of 26 minutes and 9.2 seconds. The next 4 runners for OC finished within a minute of each other, with junior Caleb Bozarth in 19th, freshman Ethan Anthony was 21st, freshman Owen Pierce was 24th, and freshman Colton Brown was 27th. The Eagles' next competition will be November 9th in the NCAA Division II South Central Regional Championship in Canyon, Texas. The Lady Eagles played twice at home this past week. Their first game was this past Thursday against Texas Permian Basin. Oklahoma Christian started off really quick when Denise Bennett scored her first goal of the season in the 3rd minute of the game. Oklahoma Christian would then add on to that in the 46th when Natalie Thomas scored her 3rd goal of the season. The Lady Eagles would then hold off the Texas Permian Basin and capture their 2nd win of the season. Then on Saturday, the Lady Eagles would take on Lubbock Christian Lady Chaparrals. Lubbock Christian would take an early lead in the 12th minute and then would go on to add 2 more goals in the second half to come away with a 3-0 win over Oklahoma Christian. The Lady Eagles are now 2-12 in the regular season and 2-7 in conference play. The Lady Eagles will be on the road twice this coming week when they take on Eastern New Mexico on Thursday and then take on West Texas A&M on Saturday. The Oklahoma Christian men's soccer team also played 2 games at home this past week. Their first game was on Thursday when they took the 16th best team in the country, St. Mary's. St. Mary's would strike first in the 30th minute, but Oklahoma Christian would instantly respond when in the 32nd minute, Vinicius Alves would score off of a nice pass from Ian Arandes. But that was not enough as St. Mary's would go on to add 2 more goals in the first half and then go on to add 1 more goal late in the second half to come away with a 4-1 win over the Eagles. The Eagles would then look to bounce back on Saturday when they took on Texas A&M International. Texas A&M came out strong, scoring 2 goals in the first half and then scoring 3 more goals in the second half. Texas A&M would hold Oklahoma Christian scoreless and go on to win 5-0. Oklahoma Christian is now 2-8 in the regular season and 2-6 in conference play. The Eagles will also be on the road twice this week when they will take on Eastern New Mexico on Thursday and then take on West Texas A&M on Saturday. The men and women's swim team participated in a duel with Southwestern on Sunday in Grapevine, Texas. For the men's team, sophomore Bergen Davis won the 100-yard backstroke, the 200 backstroke, and the 200 individual medley. And then sophomore Andrew Eller got first place in the 1,000 freestyle and the 500 freestyle. Other winners for the Eagles, Zach Hawes 100 breaststroke, Ryan Jennings in the 200 butterfly, Jacob Nixon in the 53 freestyle, Derek Duckworth in the 100 freestyle, and Kurt Gescheidel in the 100 butterfly. OC came away with a win in the duel against Southwestern on Sunday, and their next competition will be the Drury Invitational, which is set for November 8th and 9th. The women's swim team also participated in the duel against Southwestern this weekend and also came away with the win, outscoring the Pirates 152-123. Freshman Cheyenne Parks won 3 events and breaking the school record in the 200-yard backstroke with a time of 2 minutes 8.48 seconds. Parks also took first place in the 100 backstroke and the 1,000 freestyle. And sophomore Grace Hill also had a big day, winning the 200 freestyle and the 200 individual medley, and had a 3rd place finish in the 100 freestyle. The Lady Eagles also compete in the Drury Invitational in November. Now basketball season is finally here. For the homecoming games, Oklahoma Christian men and women's basketball teams will face off against York College this Saturday, November 2nd. The women will play at 1 p.m. and men will play at 3 p.m. And just a reminder, Eagle Media will be broadcasting these home games, as well as all home games for Oklahoma Christian basketball, right here live on our Facebook and Twitter pages at OC Eagle Media, as well as live on Cox and on the Lone Star Conference Digital Network. Tune in for live coverage of the games and homecoming court in between games as well on Saturday. We hope to see you there. That's your full sports report. We'll be right back after take a look at this.
me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Thank you for joining us again. A Massachusetts father pulled an idea from his family tree for this year's epic custom Halloween costume for his differently abled son. Take a look at this.
What do you think, Tommy?
The big reveal.
Today's the big day. We're going to dress you up.
The moment when 15-year-old Tommy Hardy no longer sees his wheelchair. Instead, he sees himself in the cockpit, piloting an iconic Air Force jet, the SR-71 Blackbird.
The creativity in this garage is just amazing.
For the last month, Tommy's dad and friends have put in nearly 100 hours, using parts from around the garage to create this Halloween costume.
I think it's a great family tradition that we have.
Tommy has cerebral palsy. He's living with autism and is nonverbal. But Dad says he's your typical teenager who loves Halloween.
To watch Tommy light up, and not only watch him light up, trick-or-treating as a kid, but also seeing the other kids around him just being so like, wow, that's an awesome costume, bud. You know, they're not looking at him like he's in a wheelchair. They're just seeing an awesome costume, just a little kid going out having some fun.
In recent years, Tommy has been an X-Wing fighter from Star Wars, rode one of the dragons from Game of Thrones, and last year stopped traffic in this Haverhill police car.
The real detail this year is the wood that we used to form the plane.
But this year's costume has a very special meaning for this family.
We actually got a photo of the SR-71 cockpit. So we cut that out, laminated it, and then also added my father and my mother from their military days.
Tommy's grandparents were both in the Air Force, and both passed away this year.
Trying to dedicate this costume to my family. My parents were huge supporters of what we did, doing this each year, so we wanted to give something back.
Every year we just amaze ourselves. It's just a lot of fun.
The Eagle Angle crew is wishing you a spooky Halloween and a festive homecoming week. Thanks for watching Eagle Angle, where it's your campus,
your news.